Meteorological branch would be entrusted with providing weather forecast reports of flying operations round the clock. They would be doing this by careful observation of weather over the base, liaison with other stations and compiling
Ladies and gentlemen, may we draw your kind attention to your right to witness the solemn moments of the Nishan uncasing drill, wherein the President colors of the Academy are being honored and prepared by the Nishan Toli to be paraded today. The President's Color Award has its history way back to ancient Indian traditions. In ancient times, whenever any military unit marched, they carried a flag of their respective kings to demonstrate their king's supremacy. The flag had an emblem or message of their king for the other ruler. The flag has its prominent significance. If the army lost its flag to the hands of the enemy, it was a humiliation. And if the army captures the flag of the enemy, then it was a matter of pride, honor, and an occasion of victory. The tradition continued even during colonial rule. When the British Army moved across India, the regiment always carried its version of the king or queen's flag. All the versions of the king or queen's flags were laid to rest in the Indian Military Academy in Dehradun on 26 January 1950.
These days, the President's Color Award is the highest honor that can be given to any military unit of the country. A special flag, also known as the Nishan, is given to a unit as an acknowledgement of the unit's praiseworthy service. Although the units have stopped carrying the color into battles, the tradition to receive, hold and parade with the colors during ceremonial parades is still prevalent today in the armed forces. When they pass by, they carry with them the living spirit of the formation or unit and demands appropriate salutations from those who look upon them. 10th September 1975 was a red-letter day in the short annals of the Academy, which had the proud privilege of being the first non-combat unit of the Indian Air Force to receive colors from Shri Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad, the then President of India, at a parade commanded by Air Commodore L.M. Katre Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, who later became the Chief of Air Staff.
The Nishan Toli contains one color bearer, one color warrant, and 4 escorts, who are specially selected for the occasion. Today, the Nishan Toli is being led by Flight Cadet Aditya Thapa, who is also bearing the Nishan with Flight Cadet Paritosh Sharma, Flight Cadet Divyam Dhawan, Flight Cadet Krishna Nandan Mondal, Flight Cadet Pradyot Pandey, and Flight Cadet Nairuth Reddy. Ladies and gentlemen, the parade is about to commence, and in a short while, the sounding of the bugle will herald the beginning of the combined graduation parade. Ladies and gentlemen, the parade is now marching in, keeping in step with the famous tune of Northern Border. Look at their faces filled with pride and eyes shining with determination, putting their best foot forward as they march today on their way to become worthy officers of the Indian Air Force. The marching contingents, arms swinging, heels digging in, heads held high, proud of their blue Air Force uniform, heritage and motto, touch the sky with glory. Whether in the sky or on the ground, these air warriors would approach their task with confidence, dedication, and pride.
Now, the parade adjutant, Flight Cadet Balram Reddy, Academy Cadet Adjutant, will hand over the command of the parade to the parade commander, Flight Cadet Nitesh Jakhad. Parade is a powerful aid to inculcate discipline and to develop a sense of military pride amongst the personnel of armed forces. The precision of parade is not only a sign of good discipline and camaraderie, but also a crucial element in raising the standards of military service. The ceremonial parade presented at Air Force Academy marks the fulfillment of the initial objective of preparing the trainee for a career in the Indian Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, may I draw your attention to your right as the Nishan Toli is about to march in before you. When the Nishan Toli passes in front of you, all are requested to rise and those in uniform are to salute.
देवियों एवं सज्जनों, जब निशान टोली आपके सामने से गुजरती है तो आप सभी से अनुरोध है कि आप अपने स्थान पर खड़े हो जाएं और जो वर्दी में हैं वे सलामी दें।
अब परेड हमारे समक्ष है। वायुसेना अकादमी के कमांडेंट, एयर ऑफिसर कमांडिंग इन चीफ प्रशिक्षण कमान, वायुसेना अध्यक्ष, माननीय राज्यपाल और माननीय राष्ट्रपति के आते ही परेड सभी का अभिवादन करेगी। आज की संयुक्त स्नातक परेड के लिए हमारे साथ कई विशिष्ट अतिथि और गणमान्य व्यक्ति हैं, जिनमें शामिल हैं श्री जी किशन रेड्डी, यूनियन मिनिस्टर ऑफ टूरिज्म, श्रीमती सत्यवती राठौड़, मिनिस्टर फॉर एसटी वेलफेयर, वुमेन एंड चाइल्ड वेलफेयर, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ तेलंगाना, मिसेस ए संथी कुमारी, आईएएस, चीफ सेक्रेटरी टू टीएस गवर्नमेंट, लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल जेएस सिडाना, कमांडेंट एनसीईएमई, मिस्टर अंजनी कुमार, आईपीएस डीजीपी तेलंगाना, मिस्टर अमित गर्ग, आईपीएस डायरेक्टर एसवीपी नेशनल पुलिस एकेडमी, श्री डी अमोय कुमार, आईएएस डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर मेक्चल मलकजगिरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट।
Today, we are also fortunate to have amongst us some distinguished air veterans, including Air Marshal M.B. Marden, PVSM, AVSM, VM Gallantry and Bar, Air Marshal C. Harikumar, PVSM, AVSM, VM, VSM, Air Marshal M. Baladitya, AVSM, VSM. We are also honored by the presence of foreign attaches from the USA, Russia, UK, Hungary, Indonesia and Bangladesh.
Parade holds great significance for the armed forces. It reinforces discipline and esprit de corps and instills sense of pride in uniform. Parade is thus a way of life for the personnel in the armed forces, as it also portrays the might of the country's armed forces and level of war preparedness. The word parade comes from the old tradition of formation combat, in which the soldiers were held in strict formations to maximize their combat effectiveness. Although close combat has given way to the coordinated three-dimensional application of military force, modern military organization still uses parade on important national events for ceremonial purposes as well as to inculcate self-discipline.
We take this opportunity to request you all to remain seated and maintain silence during the conduct of the parade. Also, do not forget to switch off your mobile phones during the duration of the parade.
हम इस अवसर पर आपसे ये अनुरोध करते हैं कि कृपया परेड के संचालन के दौरान बैठे रहें और शांति बनाए रखें। इसके अलावा परेड की अवधि के दौरान अपने मोबाइल फ़ोन को स्विच ऑफ करना न भूलें।
For over 9 decades, the Indian Air Force has ceaselessly operated in peace and war and never let its guard down. We, the air warriors, are prepared to defend our skies always and every time. On the gate right in front is written the vision statement of the Indian Air Force, People First, Mission Always. The vision statement underscores the importance that Indian Air Force plays in its personnel, as the men and women behind the machine would eventually decide the outcome of any operational endeavor.
The crest of the Air Force Academy is a Himalayan eagle with a roundel placed directly below the state emblem, which is a replica of the symbol of the Ashok Stamp. In addition to imparting professional knowledge and developing skills, the Academy endeavors to teach a value system that shapes the character of graduating trainees in the best tradition of the Academy motto, Shram Se Siddhi, which is achievement through diligence. It contributes to building up an effective and economical training system that can meet the challenges of the future. It strives to inculcate the values of excellence, discipline, and dedication. It will be the endeavor of the Air Force Academy to keep on going from strength to strength so as to touch the sky with glory. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. B. Komala, President AFA Local, has arrived. She is being received by Mrs. Hemangi Joshi.
The combined graduation parade takes place twice a year at the Air Force Academy. The President's Commission is awarded to the cadets of various branches on successful completion of their training during this combined graduation parade. The major activities of CGP are the presentation of arms to the reviewing officer, inspection of parade by the reviewing officer, commissioning ceremony followed by felicitation of award winners, oath-taking ceremony, and the reviewing officer's address. Then parade presents a final general salute followed by Baju Shastra. The newly commissioned officers then march past the dais in a slow march as they offer their first salute to the reviewing officer. Today, the reviewing officer is being escorted by Flight Cadet Avik Thama, Flight Cadet Meva Singh, UTFO Soumya Tiwari, Flight Cadet Karmanya, Flight Cadet Navroop Singh Jammu, Flight Cadet Bhanu Sharma, Flight Cadet Sohan Goswami, and Flight Cadet Sachin Tyagi.
The colored flags above the entrance gate represents the colors of the 6 training squadrons, which are named after the former commandants of the Air Force Academy. The blue flags represents Aquino Squadron, the green flag represents Katre Squadron, the yellow flag represents Chitnis Squadron, the red flag represents Brar Squadron, the grey flag represents Desa Squadron, and the maroon represents the Naidu Squadron. The cadets of the Air Force Academy are distributed equally among these 6 squadrons on their initial arrival to the Academy. The squadron concept helps build camaraderie, bonhomie, and sportsmanship when they compete against one another in sports, athletics, drill, quiz competition, debate, or entertainment program.
देवियों एवं सज्जनों, एयर मार्शल बी चंद्रशेखर अति विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल कमांडेंट वायुसेना अकादमी का आगमन हो रहा है। देवियों एवं सज्जनों, एयर मार्शल आर रधीश अति विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल, वायुसेना मेडल, एयर ऑफिसर कमांडिंग इन चीफ ट्रेनिंग कमांड का आगमन हो रहा है।
Ladies and gentlemen, Air Marshal R. Radhish, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Vayu Sena Medal, Air Officer Commanding in Chief Training Command has arrived. He is being received by Deputy Commandant, Air Force Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, Air Marshal B. Chandrasekhar, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Commandant, Air Force Academy has arrived. He is being received by Deputy Commandant, Air Force Academy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Air Marshal R. Radhish, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Vayu Sena Medal, Air Officer Commanding in Chief Training Command has arrived. He is being received by Commandant, Air Force Academy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Neeta Chaudhary, President of Far Central, has arrived. She is being received by Mrs. Hyacinth Radhish and Mrs. B. Komla.
देवियों एवं सज्जनों, एयर चीफ मार्शल वी.आर. चौधरी, परम विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल, अति विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल, वायुसेना मेडल, एडीसी, वायुसेना अध्यक्ष का आगमन हो रहा है।
Ladies and gentlemen, Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary, Param Vishisht Seva Medal, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Vayu Sena Medal, ADC, Chief of the Air Staff has arrived. He is being received by AOC Training Command and Commandant Air Force Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, Srimati Satyavati Rathore, Minister for ST Welfare, Women and Child Welfare, Government of Telangana has arrived. The Honorable Minister is being received by Commandant Air Force Academy.
देवियों और सज्जनों, तेलंगाना की माननीय राज्यपाल डॉक्टर तमिलिसाई सौंदरराजन का आगमन हो रहा है।
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Governor of Telangana, Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan has arrived. The Honorable Governor is being received by Commandant Air Force Academy, AOC Training Command and Chief of Air Staff. Ladies and gentlemen, when the parade presents the Rashtriya salute to the Honorary Governor, all people, including those in uniform, are requested only to stand. Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan was born on 2nd June 1961 in Nagarkoil, Tamil Nadu. Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan took charge as Governor of Telangana on 8 September 2019 and happens to be the first woman to hold this office. The Honorable Governor has a remarkable public and social service background spanning over 20 years. The Honorable Governor has an illustrious political career in the last 2 decades where she has successfully led the state unit of a political party with noteworthy accomplishments. The Governor nurtures great devotion towards public service and enhancement of living standards of common people with focus on health and education as a prime agenda. Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan is a proud recipient of an international award titled International Rising Star of the Year 2018 by Multi-Ethnic Advisory Task Force USA under US Congressman Danny K. Davis for her services to the society, especially in the field of politics, public and medical services.
देवियों एवं सज्जनों, दीक्षांत परेड एक कैडेट के प्रशिक्षण में और उसके जीवन में एक यादगार अवसर है। दीक्षांत परेड वायुसेना अकादमी में दिए जाने वाले प्रशिक्षण के संपन्न होने का प्रमाण देती है, जिसके बाद एक कैडेट एक काबिल वायुसेना अफसर के रूप में कार्य करने के लिए पूर्ण रूप से तैयार हो जाता है। आप सभी के समक्ष प्रस्तुत परेड में मौजूद कैडेट्स को विंग कमांडर के श्रीनिवासन, सीनियर इंस्ट्रक्टर आउटडोर ट्रेनिंग के नेतृत्व में स्क्वाड्रन लीडर संजय सिंह, फ्लाइट लेफ्टिनेंट आकांक्षा मिश्रा, फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर रवीना, वारंट ऑफिसर बीरेंद्र सिंह यादव, वारंट ऑफिसर इंचार्ज आउटडोर ट्रेनिंग और आउटडोर ट्रेनिंग के काबिल दल ने प्रशिक्षित किया है। देवियों और सज्जनों, आज हमारे समीक्षा अधिकारी भारत की माननीय राष्ट्रपति श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू का आगमन हो रहा है। आप सभी से अनुरोध है कि आप अपने स्थान पर खड़े हो जाएं।
Ladies and gentlemen, the reviewing officer for today's parade, Honorable President of India, Srimati Draupadi Murmu has arrived. The Honorable President is being received by Chief of the Air Staff, Air Officer Commanding-in-Chief, Training Command and Commandant Air Force Academy.
दीक्षांत परेड आपके निरीक्षण के लिए हाजिर है महोदय।
The Honorable President will now inspect the graduation parade.
श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू ने 25 जुलाई 2022 को भारत की 15वीं राष्ट्रपति के रूप में शपथ ग्रहण की। इससे पहले वे 2015 से 2021 तक झारखंड की राज्यपाल रहीं। 20 जून 1958 को ओडिशा के मयूरभंज जिले के ऊपरबेड़ा गांव में एक संथाली आदिवासी परिवार में जन्मी श्रीमती मुर्मू का प्रारंभिक जीवन कठिनाइयों और संघर्षों से भरा रहा। गांव के स्कूल से प्राथमिक शिक्षा पूरी करने के बाद वे अपनी आगे की पढ़ाई के लिए अपनी ही पहल पर भुवनेश्वर गईं। उन्होंने रमा देवी महिला महाविद्यालय भुवनेश्वर से कला स्नातक की उपाधि प्राप्त की। वे अपने गांव से कॉलेज जाने वाली प्रथम बालिका बनी। श्रीमती मुर्मू ने 1979 से 1983 तक ओडिशा सरकार के सिंचाई और बिजली विभाग में कनिष्ठ सहायक के रूप में कार्य किया। बाद में 1994 से 1997 तक उन्होंने श्री अरविंद इंटीग्रल एजुकेशन सेंटर रायरंगपुर में मानद शिक्षक के रूप में अपनी सेवाएं दी। वर्ष 2000 में श्रीमती मुर्मू रायरंगपुर निर्वाचन क्षेत्र से ओडिशा विधानसभा की सदस्य के रूप में चुनी गईं और 2009 तक 2 कार्यकालों के लिए विधायक रहीं। इस अवधि के दौरान उन्होंने 6 मार्च 2000 से 6 अगस्त 2002 तक ओडिशा सरकार के वाणिज्य और परिवहन विभाग की राज्य मंत्री स्वतंत्र प्रभार के रूप में तथा 6 अगस्त 2002 से 16 मई 2004 तक मत्स्य पालन और पशु संसाधन विभाग की राज्य मंत्री स्वतंत्र प्रभार के रूप में कार्य किया। दोनों ही दायित्वों के निर्वहन में उन्होंने अभिनव निर्णय लिए और लोक हितकारी कदम उठाए।
The parade adjutant for today's parade is Flight Cadet Balaram Reddy. Squadron commander of number 1 squadron, which is being reviewed now, is Flight Cadet Omkar Singh. Squadron commander of number 2 squadron, which is being reviewed now, is Flight Cadet Ayush Parashar. The Nishan Toli is being led by Flight Cadet Aditya Thapa. Squadron commander of number 3 squadron, which is being reviewed, is Flight Cadet Nishtha Vats. Squadron commander of number 4 squadron is Flight Cadet Mihir Gadgil.
अपने गहन प्रशासनिक अनुभव और आदिवासी समाज के उत्थान हेतु विशेषकर शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में किए गए प्रयासों के बल पर उन्होंने अपनी एक विशेष पहचान बनाई। विधायक के रूप में उनकी विशिष्ट सेवाओं को ध्यान में रखते हुए 2007 में उन्हें ओडिशा विधानसभा द्वारा पंडित नीलकंठ दास सर्वश्रेष्ठ विधायक सम्मान से विभूषित किया गया। श्रीमती मुर्मू को 18 मई 2015 के दिन झारखंड का राज्यपाल नियुक्त किया गया। वे उस आदिवासी बहुल राज्य की पहली महिला आदिवासी राज्यपाल बनी। संविधान की गरिमा को अक्षुण्ण रखने तथा जनजातीय समुदायों के अधिकारों का समर्थन करने के लिए व्यापक रूप से उनकी सराहना की गई। उन्होंने राज्य विश्वविद्यालयों की परीक्षा और भर्ती प्रक्रियाओं में अनेक सुधार किए। राजनीतिक शुचिता और लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों में अपनी निष्ठा के बल पर सभी राजनीतिक दलों के नेताओं का आदर उन्होंने अर्जित किया। श्रीमती मुर्मू ओडिशा के आदिवासी, सामाजिक, शैक्षिक और सांस्कृतिक क्षेत्र के अनेक संगठनों से जुड़ी रहीं। स्वाध्याय में उनकी विशेष रुचि है और आध्यात्म में उनकी गहरी आस्था है। श्रीमती मुर्मू का विवाह वर्ष 1981 में स्वर्गीय श्री श्याम चरण मुर्मू से हुआ, जो एक बैंक अधिकारी थे। उनकी एक सुपुत्री है जिनका नाम इतिश्री मुर्मू है। उनके जामाता श्री गणेश हेम्ब्रम एक रग्बी खिलाड़ी हैं।
मंच से गुजरने की आज्ञा दे महोदया।
Now you can see the parade commander marching towards the side of the number 1 squadron beside the parade adjutant.
देवियों और सज्जनों, परेड में शामिल कैडेट अब आपके सामने मार्च करते हुए अपने कौशल, तालमेल और अनुशासन का प्रदर्शन पेश करेंगे।
Ladies and gentlemen, when the Nishan passes in front of you, all are requested to rise and those in uniform to salute.
देवियों और सज्जनों, मंच के आगे से गुजरने से पहले परेड निकट लाइन से खुली लाइन में बदल जाएगी और धीरे चल में माननीय राष्ट्रपति का अभिवादन करेगी। आपके सामने से गुजरती है तो आप सभी से अनुरोध है कि आप अपने स्थान पर खड़े हों और जो वर्दी में हैं वे सलामी दें।
The band is now marching in front of you, playing the tune Vayu Shakti, composed by veteran Wing Commander P.K. Jena. The parade has once again changed formation to close order and will continue with quick march to reposition them in front of the dais in reviewing order. As the parade contingent marches by, arms swinging in synchronization, heels digging in, we are proud of the burning desire that the training at the Air Force Academy has kindled in these young cadets. During their training at the Air Force Academy, the trainees being commissioned today have imbibed knowledge, leadership skills and value systems. Most importantly, they have been trained to lead with professionalism and dedication. This is in accordance with the mission of the Air Force Academy to train air warriors of highest professional, intellectual, physical and moral caliber for a lifetime of service to the Indian Air Force and the nation. Today, these young entrants who have joined from the National Defence Academy and universities all over the country would be commissioned as worthy Indian Air Force officers who would go on to achieve the Indian Air Force motto of touch the sky with glory. Ladies and gentlemen, after the parade halts, it would present Rashtriya Salute to the Honorable President in a reviewing order. When the parade presents the Rashtriya Salute, all are requested to stand.
दीक्षांत परेड आयोगदान पुरस्कार वितरण और शपथ ग्रहण के लिए तैयार है महोदय। दीक्षांत परेड देश चल।
देवियों एवं सज्जनों, अब आप देख सकते हैं कैडेट्स आगे बढ़ते हुए पदवी अनुदान के लिए 4 पंक्तियों में मंच के सामने खड़े होंगे। वहीं आपकी दाहिनी ओर से जूनियर कैडेट्स एयर क्रू बैजेस लिए और कमीशन होने वाले कैडेट्स के कैप के सफेद बैंड और कंधे के सफेद फ्लैशेस हटाने के लिए अपना स्थान ले रहे हैं। आज कैडेट्स की पहली पंक्ति को माननीय राष्ट्रपति द्वारा पदवी अनुदान की जाएगी। वहीं दूसरी पंक्ति को वायुसेना अध्यक्ष द्वारा पदवी अनुदान की जाएगी। एयर ऑफिसर कमांडिंग इन चीफ प्रशिक्षण कमांड तीसरी पंक्ति को पदवी अनुदान करेंगे। चौथी पंक्ति को कमांडेंट वायुसेना अकादमी द्वारा पदवी अनुदान की जाएगी।
The trainees being commissioned today are Flying Officer Nitesh Jakhar, Flying Officer Onkar Singh,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर रोहित बेनीवाल,
Flying Officer Mayuri,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर विनय डंगवाल,
Flying Officer Siddharth,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर साकेत शर्मा,
Flying Officer Jaishankar Nanda,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर विपिन कुमार,
Flying Officer Manish Pathak,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर सिद्धार्थ महाजन,
Flying Officer Abhishek Singh,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर अरुण एम,
Flying Officer Arvind Shekhawat,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर आर्यन राजपूत,
Flying Officer Ujjwal Singh,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर सचिन पीबी,
Flying Officer Sagar Chaudhary,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर सुधांशु खारी,
Flying Officer Nikhil Kumar,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर शुभांकर गायकवाड़,
Flying Officer Shubham Raj,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर ए डैरन क्रूज,
Flying Officer Abhinav Yadav,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर प्रीति सिंह,
Flying Officer Sushant Hiremat,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर संपत कृणाल,
Flying Officer Pandya Het A,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर देवेश चौधरी,
Flying Officer Suman Shekhawat,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर दीप्ति जोशी,
Flying Officer Pooja Belwal,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर योगिता सती,
Flying Officer Akshit Sehgal,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर चरणप्रीत सिंह,
Flying Officer Chandni Chufal,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर देवांश त्रिपाठी,
Flying Officer Sonia Huda,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर निखिल सई,
Flying Officer Pradeep Singh,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर ईशान बख्शी,
Flying Officer Kshitij Chauhan,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर हर्ष,
Flying Officer Mayank Primoli,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर कमल कर्नाटक,
Flying Officer Ajay Rathore,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर संकल्प सिंह नेगी,
Flying Officer Yogesh Kumar,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर प्रवीण सोनी,
Flying Officer Vishagya Saxena,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर हर्षवर्धन रेड्डी,
Flying Officer Shubham Badal,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर अर्जुन शिव कुमार,
Flying Officer Bhanuj Gill,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर प्रथम बाजट,
Flying Officer Kshitij Malik,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर सौरभ कठैत,
Flying Officer Shubham Shrikhande,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर नरदेव बलहारा,
Flying Officer Yajush Arya,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर हर्षित बख्शी,
Flying Officer Medhavi Tomar,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर सत्यम शर्मा,
Flying Officer Shashwat Sharma,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर संकेत गौतम,
Flying Officer Deepak Kumar,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर मिहिर गाडगिल,
Flying Officer Shashwat Vignesh,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर रोहन भारद्वाज,
Flying Officer Rashmit Deepak,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर एम गोकुलनाथ,
Flying Officer Pranav A,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर संजीव तिवारी,
Flying Officer Pratmesh Wazar,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर देवेश सिंह,
Flying Officer Jatin Dillon,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर कृष्णा चौहान,
Flying Officer Yuvraj Yadav,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर संचित वर्मा,
Flying Officer Yuvraj Singh Kalon,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर रविशंकर,
Flying Officer Pradeep Singh,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर प्रतीक एस इमडी,
Flying Officer Nikhilkant Mishra,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर प्रियदर्शनी जी,
Flying Officer Pallavi Mandloi,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर शुभांगी नार्वेकर,
Flying Officer Mehul Gupta,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर मनोज सैनी,
Flying Officer Kanchita,
फ्लाइंग ऑफिसर शुभ्रज्योति साहू,
Flying Officer Kuldeep Sharma,
Flying Officer Nikhilesh Rawat.
Flying Officer Varsha Yadav.
Flying Officer Varsha Selwal.
Flying Officer Shivani Dahiya.
Flying Officer Aishwarya C.
Flying Officer Amandeep Bedi.
Flying Officer Anjali Kilotra.
Flying Officer Gangayana Matthew.
Flying Officer Ruchita Sawant.
Flying Officer Manraj Sahani.
Flying Officer Samarth Singh.
Flying Officer Ankit Singh.
Flying Officer Prabh Simran.
Flying Officer Tanushri GV.
Flying Officer Vivek Rajput.
Flying Officer Satish Kumar.
Flying Officer Ayush Kotwal.
Flying Officer Sachin Chauhan.
Flying Officer Nived Chandrasekhar.
Flying Officer Mihir Kumar.
Flying Officer Rahul Verma.
Flying Officer Bharat Pandey.
Flying Officer Anirban Bhattacharjee.
Flying Officer Sagar Singh.
Flying Officer B. Raj.
Flying Officer Ankush Kumar.
Flying Officer Shubham Rawat.
Flying Officer Aniket Shinde.
Flying Officer Rahul H.K.
Flying Officer Rishu Saurabh.
Flying Officer Gulsharan.
Flying Officer Twarit Sanghi.
Flying Officer Akshat Kaushik.
Flying Officer S. Sanjana.
Flying Officer Sakshi Atri.
Flying Officer Ayush Parashar.
Flying Officer Nishtha Vats.
Flying Officer Karandeep Singh.
Flying Officer Avinash Singh.
Flying Officer Janvi Malik.
Flying Officer Akshita Dhankad.
Flying Officer Manoj Kumar.
Flying Officer Akash Pawar.
Flying Officer Sahil Bishnoi.
Flying Officer Sandeep.
Flying Officer Shashank Gautam.
Flying Officer Ravi.
Flying Officer Sandeep MS.
Flying Officer Prasad Bade.
Flying Officer Ankush Thapa.
Flying Officer Arshpreet Singh.
Flying Officer Rishraj Singh.
Flying Officer Apurv G. Padghan.
Flying Officer Naman Dhanda.
Flying Officer Shripad Desai.
Flying Officer Daman Lohia.
Flying Officer Dheeraj N.
Flying Officer Shaurya Gulati.
Flying Officer Krishna Kumari.
Flying Officer Langamba Mete.
Flying Officer Naveen M.
Flying Officer Todkar Mayur.
Flying Officer Pratibha Fogart.
Flying Officer Pratik Kukudkar.
Flying Officer T. Sandeep Kumar.
Flying Officer Divya Thapa.
Flying Officer Reshma Rani.
Flying Officer Himani Chauhan.
Flying Officer Shalini Thakur.
Flying Officer Manisha Yadav.
Flying Officer Arman Sodi.
Flying Officer Apurva Arya.
Flying Officer Parvarish Ranta.
Flying Officer Saloni Patil.
Flying Officer Hemant Kumar.
Flying Officer Spur Kankane.
Flying Officer Akshit Sharma.
Flying Officer Ishana Singh.
Flying Officer Pooja.
Flying Officer Anmol Kondal.
Flying Officer Prakhyat Masand.
Flying Officer Sudarshan Chetri.
Flying Officer Chirayu Patil.
Flying Officer Ravinder Singh Khati.
Flying Officer Zaid Zafar.
Flying Officer Basavraj Sonar.
Flying Officer Shakti Kumar.
Flying Officer Rijul Dubey.
Flying Officer Ashish Rai.
Flying Officer Pratham Singh.
Flying Officer Mohit Sharma.
Flying Officer Manavdeep Singh.
Flying Officer Sahil Kumar.
Flying Officer Prince Manhas.
Flying Officer Shubham Kiroriwal.
Flying Officer Ashish Singh.
Flying Officer Ayush Chaudhary.
Flying Officer Harsh Dangwal.
Flying Officer Ivraj Kaur.
Flying Officer Atharv Surve.
Flying Officer Ahmadija Venkatesh.
Flying Officer Balram Reddy.
Now, the Honorable President would award wings to officers of the Indian Navy, Indian Coast Guard and 2 foreign trainees from Vietnam. Lieutenant Prashant. Lieutenant Abhishek Yadav. Lieutenant Piyush Suresh Mankad. Lieutenant Nikhil Kishore. Lieutenant Ketan Pandurangi. Lieutenant Mohit Shoran, Lieutenant Roshan Singh, Lieutenant Saurabh Sharma, Deputy Commandant Sumit Chandra Verma, Assistant Commandant Harjot Singh, Assistant Commandant Manish Nath, Assistant Commandant Amar Uday Singh Mohite, Assistant Commandant Nishchar Bhargav, Assistant Commandant Kunal Bansod, Deputy Commandant J. Sharan, Assistant Commandant Vansh Chaudhary,
Cadet Nguyen Vang Hong Ong from Vietnam. Cadet Nguyen Quang Trong from Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have come to the crowning moment of individual achievers, wherein the Honorable President would now felicitate the award winners. President's plaque, first in order of merit, Flying Branch, goes to Flying Officer Nitesh Jakhad. The Sword of Honor goes to Flying Officer Nitesh Jakhad. President's plaque, first in order of merit, Ground Duty Officers Course, goes to Flying Officer Manisha Yadav of Education Branch. The Commandant Air Force Academy will now administer the oath to the newly commissioned officers.
आप मेरे मैं बोलने के पश्चात अपना रैंक और नाम बोलें। मैं ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची निष्ठा और वफादारी रखूंगा और मैं भारत की संघ के भारतीय वायुसेना में सेवा के प्रति वचनबद्ध रूप में ईमानदारी और विश्वसनीयता के साथ सेवा करूंगा और जहां भी आदेश किया जाए हवाई, भूमि या समुद्री मार्ग से जाऊंगा और अपनी जान की आखिरी सांस तक भारत के राष्ट्रपति और मेरे ऊपर रखे गए किसी भी अफसर के सभी आदेशों का मानूंगा और उनका पालन करूंगा।
चल फ्रेंड, आपके अभिभाषण के लिए तैयार है महोदय।
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable President will now address the parade.
Governor of Telangana, Srimati Tamilsai Sundararajan ji, Union Minister of Tourism, Culture and Development of Northeast Region, Sri G. Kishan Reddy ji, Air Chief Marshal B.R. Chaudhary, PVSM, AVSM, VM, ADC. Minister from the Government of Telangana, Srimati Satyavati Rathod ji, Air Marshal R. Radhish, AVSM, VM, Air Officer in Charge, Training Command, Air Marshal B. Chandrasekhar, AVSM, Commandant Air Force Academy, members of the faculty and staff, cadets of parade, proud parents, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to be here at the combined graduation parade of Indian Air Force officer trainees. I congratulate all the trainees being commissioned into the different branches of the Indian Air Force. My special congratulations to all the award winners and the champion squadron for their excellent performance. I congratulate the trainees from friendly foreign countries. Their participation strengthens relationship between our countries. I also congratulate the proud parents of the cadets. They have supported their sons and daughters in achieving this landmark in their career and life. I also compliment the faculty and training staff of the academy and other institutions who have mentored the cadets. I appreciate the cadets on parade for their impressive turnout and flawless drill. It demonstrated your consistent training and hard work. Your career is challenging, rewarding, and highly honorable. You have to carry forward the great legacy of those who have served in the IAF before you. The great role played by the brave warriors of the Indian Air Force in defending the country in the wars with the hostile neighbor in 1948, 1965, and 1971 is written in golden letter. They demonstrated the same resolve and skill at the Kargil conflict and later in destroying the terror hideout at Balakot. Thus, the Indian Air Force has a legendary reputation of professionalism, dedication, and self-sacrifice. You must be guided by the same determination to win amidst adversities. Ladies and gentlemen, the IAF also contributes to humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. Recently, the IAF sprang into action despite adverse weather conditions during the recent earthquake in Turkey and Syria to provide medical aid and disaster relief. Earlier, the successful evacuation operation to airlift more than 600 Indians and other nationals stuck in Kabul, involving flying and landing in the hostile environment, is a testimony to the high capabilities of the Indian Air Force. The IAF also made praiseworthy contribution in combating the disaster caused by COVID-19 by ensuring airlifting of relief and rescue teams along with rescue equipments. Ladies and gentlemen, together our defense forces protect land frontiers, large coastline and territorial waters, and a huge airspace. The ability to absorb technology at a rapid pace will be essential for defense preparedness and land, sea, and air. Each and every officer of the armed forces has to keep in mind an integrated perspective of defense preparedness. I am happy to note that our Air Force is taking steps to be ever ready, especially future ready, keeping in view the overall security scenario, including the challenges of fighting a high technology war in a network-centric future battle space. In this context, modernization of the Air Force through induction of Rafale fighter aircraft and Apache attack helicopter and the Chinook heavy lift helicopter strengthens our operational capabilities. I am also happy to know about the indigenization efforts of the Ministry of Defense for realizing the national agenda of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Ladies and gentlemen, I am glad that the Indian Air Force is now inducting women officers in all roles and branches. There is a substantial number of women fighter pilots, which is bound to increase. In April 2023, I flew a sortie in a Sukhoi 30 MKI fighter aircraft at the Tezpur Air Force Station in Assam. I flew for nearly 30 minutes covering Brahmaputra and Tezpur valleys with a great view of the Himalayas before returning to the Air Force Station. It was indeed a great experience to fly at a height of about 2 kilometers above sea level at a speed of about 800 kilometers per hour. Dear young officers of the Indian Air Force, you will no longer be the boys and girls who came to this academy as trainees. Now you are going to be officers ready to face challenges and take up responsibilities. The Air Force has a very inspiring motto, touch the sky with glory. Navasprusang Diptam. I am sure you will imbibe the spirit of this motto and live up to the expectations the nation has from all you. I wish you an exciting and fulfilling career and a very bright future ahead. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
gentlemen, the band will now play the national anthem. You all are requested to stand and sing along.
दीक्षांत परेड को ले जाने की आज्ञा दे महोदया।
सज्जनों, जब निशान टोली आपके सामने से गुजरती है तो आप सभी से अनुरोध है कि आप अपने स्थान पर खड़े हो जाएं और जो वर्दी में हैं वे सलामी दें।
Ladies and gentlemen, when the Nissan Toli passes in front of you, all are requested to rise and those in uniform to salute. now playing Vijay Bharat, composed and arranged by late Master Warrant Officer J.A. George, Vishish Seva Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, as the newly commissioned officers are marching out, up ahead you can see the cadets of the junior course marching in. They will form up in two flanks through which their senior course, which has just been commissioned, will pass. The newly commissioned officers are taking their position at the rear, waiting to step into their new world. Each step signifies their transformation into bold and responsible officers of the Indian Air Force, ready to serve the nation. As the newly commissioned officers pass through the formation of the junior course in slow march, they receive their first salutation from their juniors. Their hearts are filled with immense pride and satisfaction for having passed the cherished values and traditions down to their juniors. With every step, they Ladies and gentlemen, as they march past the saluting dais, they would extend their first salutation as officers to the Honorable President of India who has commissioned them.
इस समय प्रसिद्ध कवि सोहनलाल द्विवेदी द्वारा रचित कुछ पंक्तियां याद आ रही हैं। न हाथ एक शस्त्र हो, न हाथ एक अस्त्र हो, न अन्न वीर वस्त्र हो, हटो नहीं डरो नहीं, बढ़े चलो बढ़े चलो, रहे समक्ष हिम शिखर, तुम्हारा प्रण उठे निखर, भले ही जाए जन बिखर, रुको नहीं झुको नहीं, बढ़े चलो बढ़े चलो। गगन उगलता आग हो, छिड़ा मरण का राग हो, लहू का अपने फाग हो, अड़ो वहीं गड़ो वहीं, बढ़े चलो बढ़े चलो। अशेष रक्त तोल दो, स्वतंत्रता का मोल दो, कड़ी युगों की खोल दो, डरो नहीं मरो नहीं, बढ़े चलो बढ़े चलो। ये पंक्तियां यह संदेश देती हैं कि इन नवनियुक्त अधिकारियों के लिए आज की ये शहर इन पंछियों के लिए एक नई उड़ान लेकर आई है। ये वीर सपूत अपने भाग्य की ओर चल पड़े हैं और कहते हैं जिंदगी की असली उड़ान अभी बाकी है, मंजिल के कई इम्तिहान अभी बाकी हैं, अभी तो नापी है मुट्ठी भर जमी हमने, अभी तो सारा आसमां बाकी है।
Ladies and gentlemen, as the last few ranks of the newly commissioned officers approaches the dais, may I direct your attention to the 3 Hawk aircraft formation led by Squadron Leader Pankaj Bijjalwan approaching from straight ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable President would now proceed to the lounge for a short break. You all are requested to stand as the Honorable President is leaving. After the parade, you will be treated by a captivating low-level aerobatic display by Pilatus PC-7 Mark II aircraft. This will be followed by formation displays by the graceful Sarang helicopter display team in ALH helicopters and by the enthralling Suryakiran aerobatic team in the Hawk aircraft. Lastly, you will witness a breathtaking and thunderous display by Sukhoi 30 MKI. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I hereby hand over the mic to the AWDT commentator LAC Abhishek Kumar to enlighten you about their synchronized drill and daring as per their motto, Drill to Thrill. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you the Air Warrior Drill Team. A very good morning to you all, ladies and gentlemen. I, leading Air Craftsman Abhishek, will guide you through the display of precision rifle drill by the Air Warrior Drill Team Subrato of Indian Air Force. Air Warrior Drill Team Subrato is a unique display team and the first of its kind in India. The team consists of 30 young and vibrant air warriors who have been handpicked for the desired task. So far, the team has performed all over the country during last 19 years. Today, the team will perform unconventional and breathtaking rifle maneuvers which will leave you enthralled and awestruck. The motto of the team is Drill to Thrill. The team leader marches forward to seek permission from Deputy Commandant Air Force Academy to start the demonstration. The team is now ready to increase your heartbeats by their thrilling performance and will perform all its advanced thrilling movements in 10 different formations. Get set as we take you through the precision rifle drill with its first formation, the V formation. From here, the team will advance forward to present the impressive rifle skills in a closer view to you all. I need not mention the strict physical regime of the team members as the 5.5 kg 303 rifles with bare bayonets appears as a toy in their hands. Alternate line formation. Meanwhile, leading Air Craftsman Raghupati Dubey is performing solo advanced drill, which is a combination of agility, flexibility and strength. Spreads over into plus formation and moves back to demonstrate their confidence in drill of self and their teammates. Ladies and gentlemen, watch out for one of the most difficult movements in which the air warriors throw their rifle blindly to the rear man while marching. Ladies and gentlemen, the next formation is the inclined line formation. Here, you can witness a series of drill exercises performed in continuation, followed by marching in the same order. Ladies and gentlemen, have you seen waves? Enjoy these movements as smooth as ripples of water. Ladies and gentlemen, do not take your eyes off the rifles which are going to be exchanged in that magical movement. And here they perform one more time for those who missed it the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, the team will now advance forward after rearranging themselves into double aircraft formation and then demonstrate their skills in groups of four. And here, leading aircraftsman Raghupati Dubey is back amongst us with their impressive rifle maneuvers. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a big round of applause for these air warriors? The team will now move back to form the square formation and will perform combination of movements in zigzag formation. gentlemen, a huge round of applause for these air warriors. Team will now arrange itself for the double line formation. Give you all a closer view of the drill movement. Ladies and gentlemen, while you all enjoy the drill movements, let me introduce you to the team members. Today's team is led by leading air cartsman Arihant. In the front rank, from left to right, we have LSE Satyam Chaube, Shubham Jana, Shamim Alam, Pankaj, Abhay, Suraj, Jyoti Prakash and LSE Sahil June. In the rear rank, from left to right, we have LSE Kuldeep, Bhupender, Devendra Dagar, Amit Pandey, Satyam Singh, Ajit, Bhupender Baghel and LSE Vipin Sani. Officer in charge of AWDT, Wing Commander Kunal Khanna, Team Administrator of AWDT, Squadron Leader Akash Dangas, along with the able team of instructors, Junior Warrant Officer A.K. Bhagat and Corporal Sonu Kushwaha have been actively involved to bring up the standards of the display which you had witnessed. Ladies and gentlemen, the team is now preparing itself for the grand finale, the tunnel formation, which is the most thrilling movement of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, please watch out for the team leader who is going to test the precision of the drill of his teammates by passing through the tunnel of rotating rifles with their bayonets. This movement is a result of immense practice, focused hard work, coordination between mind and the body, and the confidence in the abilities of self and the teammates.
ले जाने की आज्ञा दे शिवल आगे है
Gentlemen, please put your hands together once again for the wonderful performance by the young air warriors of the Air Warrior Drill Team, Subrato of Indian Air Force. Jai Hind.
And after that display carried out by the Air Warrior Drill Team of the Indian Air Force, you are all requested to please remain seated, as coming up next will be a scintillating display by the Pilatus PC-7 Mark II aircraft, followed by the Sarong helicopter display team, followed by the Suryakiran aerobatic team, and post which you will see a thrilling display by the Sukhoi 30 MKI. देवियों एवं सज्जनों, आप सबसे अनुरोध है कि अपने निर्धारित स्थान पर बैठे रहें। अब से कुछ ही समय में माननीय राष्ट्रपति महोदया के आने के उपरांत हम आज का एयर डिस्प्ले की शुरुआत करेंगे। जब तक आप अपने प्रियजनों से मिल रहे हैं, मैं आप सबको ये बताना चाहूंगी कि आज का एयर डिस्प्ले अगले 10 मिनट में शुरू होगा। पहला डिस्प्ले पिलाटस PC-7 Mark II जहाज के द्वारा प्रस्तुत किया जाएगा, जिसके पश्चात सारंग हेलीकॉप्टर डिस्प्ले टीम, उसके पश्चात सूर्य किरण एरोबैटिक टीम और आखिरी डिस्प्ले होगा सुखोई 30 MKI का। देवी एवं सज्जनों, आप सभी से अनुरोध है कि अपने निर्धारित स्थान पर वापस बैठ जाएं। Ladies and gentlemen, you're all requested to please return back to your seats and be seated.
Let me tell you a few interesting facts about the Air Force Academy. The crest of the Air Force Academy is a Himalayan eagle within a roundel placed directly below the state emblem, which is a replica of the symbol of the Ashok sun. In addition to imparting professional knowledge and developing skills, the Academy endeavors to teach a value system that shapes the character of graduating trainees. Of tradition of the Academy motto, Shram Se Siddhi. देवियों एवं सज्जनों, अब आपके सामने प्रस्तुत होने जा रहा है पिलाटस PC-7 मार्क II एयरक्राफ्ट द्वारा एक शानदार एयर डिस्प्ले। इस ट्रेनर विमान का निर्माण स्विस निर्माता पिलाटस कंपनी ने किया है। भारतीय वायुसेना के PC-7 के बेड़े में
PC-7 ने प्रशिक्षण उड़ान में एक नया कीर्तिमान स्थापित किया है और इस विमान पर वायुसेना अकादमी ने 2500 से भी अधिक कैडेटों को प्रशिक्षित करते हुए 2 लाख से भी अधिक उड़ान घंटों को पूरा किया है। This aircraft is capable of all
functions including aerobatics, instrument flying, tactical flying and night flying. Nearly 25 forces around the world use variants of this aircraft for their basic training. Ladies and gentlemen, look to your left as the aircraft flies past in front of you at 42 kilometers per hour and initiates a steep climb for the first maneuver.
Today's display is being carried out by Squadron Leader Ashish Mathur, nicknamed Max, and Squadron Leader Vaibhav Solanki, nicknamed Sol, both experienced qualified flying instructor on PC-7 Mark II. देवियों एवं सज्जनों, अपनी दाहिने ओर देखते रहे जहां विमान अब अपने अगले मनूवर की तैयारी कर रहा है, जो कि है लूप। इस मनूवर में पायलट विमान को ऊपर की ओर ले जाते हुए आकाश में गोले की आकृति बनाएंगे। Hold your breath to be blown away, ladies and gentlemen, as the aircraft defies gravity by pitching up and describing a smooth vertical circle in the sky. This maneuver is known as the loop. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now seeing the aircraft recovering from the loop at just 100 meters above the ground. Here it positions beautifully for a flyby where you can see the stunning platform of the aircraft. Now, Max and Sol are turning right at highest rate and zooming towards us at 450 kilometers per hour for the next maneuver. Ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes fixed on the aircraft as it will pull up for the roll of the top maneuver. And there he pulls up. After climbing up at the top, he has now turned upside down for the maneuver. Look ahead and see him tipping over to left and descending while accelerating towards us. He now positions the aircraft for a hard turn in which the pilot experiences 5 times the normal gravitational forces. Watch the path of the aircraft carefully and you shall notice the pilot making a crisp turn showcasing the agility of this marvelous machine. Qualified flying instructors constantly train the young cadets to gain confidence in handling the aircraft and carry out complex maneuvers by the time they pass out of the academy. Ladies and gentlemen, now shift your gaze to the extreme right and you will see the aircraft flying in to carry out a knife edge maneuver. As the name suggests, the aircraft will cut through the air like a knife. This is done by holding the aircraft nearly 90 degrees angle of bank and application of rudders to hold the nose of the aircraft on the horizon. Ladies and gentlemen, now be prepared for a stunning surprise as he runs in from your left. And the pilot is flying the aircraft upside down. This is known as an inverted maneuver and he's waving down at you. All the officers of the Indian Air Force have to undergo training at the Air Force Academy. The first flying instructor is always special as he's the one who has taught you the art and science of flying. Finally, from the right, the aircraft is flying in as Max and Sol present their final salute before exiting. They will now carry out a roll in front of the Honorable President of India as their final exiting salute. As Max and Sol take your leave, may we have a huge round of applause for the basic trainer aircraft of the Indian Air Force, the latest PC-7 Mark II. Ladies and gentlemen, after the marvelous aerobatics of PC-7 Mark II aircraft, we now hand over the mic to the Sarang commentator to take us through the thrilling display by the Sarang helicopter display team.
जय हिंद, सुप्रभात देवियों एवं सज्जनों। आज का यह दिन सभी नवयुक्त अधिकारियों और उनके गौरवान्वित माता पिता के लिए अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण है। यह दिन उनकी कड़ी मेहनत, कभी ना हार मानने का जज्बा और बेशक इस संस्था की सफलता का प्रतीक है। So ladies and gentlemen, get ready, hold tight and please welcome the brand ambassadors of the Indian Air Force, the Sarang helicopter display team. And the team has pulled up.
अब इस अद्भुत शुरुआत को आगे बढ़ाते हुए भारतीय वायुसेना की यह भव्य टीम अपनी अगली आकृति से आत्मनिर्भरता का उल्लेख करते हुए हवा में अंग्रेजी अक्षर The captain of Sarang 2 is squadron leader Dhanveer Singh with the wing commander Sridhar. In Sarang 3 with the wing commander Chandan Patnaik, the co-pilot is squadron leader Akash. And with the wing commander Niket Tiwari, we have squadron leader Karan Prabhakar in Sarang 4 as co-pilot. और अब अपनी नजरें बाईं ओर बनाए रखें, जल्द ही टीम लीडर के आदेश पर यह टीम डायमंड की आकृति में तब्दील हो जाएगी। आइए सुनते हैं लीडर की कमांड सीधे उनकी कॉकपिट से। और हवा में डायमंड की यह आकृति खास 211 कोर्स के लिए। Shift your gaze, ladies and gentlemen. You It's time now to shift your gaze from the rear to right in front as Sarang 1, 2 and 3 are positioning for the team's signature maneuver, the Dolphins Elite. All 3 helicopters flying abreast will pull up in the vertical plane and carry out a synchronized stall turn to the left. So hold your breath and look straight ahead as Sarang 1, 2 and 3 run in for the Dolphins Elite. And here they go, like a dolphin in the ocean, Sarangs and Dolphins Elite. And as promised, there goes number 4 joining up with the formation. विभिन्न राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर प्रदर्शन कर यह टीम देश के युवाओं को भारतीय वायुसेना का सदस्य होने के लिए प्रेरित करती है। कई अंतर्राष्ट्रीय हवाई प्रदर्शनों में भी इस टीम ने गर्व से अपने करतब दिखलाए हैं। इन खूबसूरत हवाई मशीनों को पूरी क्षमता से उड़ाने के साथ यह टीम एडवांस लाइट हेलीकॉप्टर ध्रुव की योग्यता एवं पायलटों कौशल को ही दिखाकर यह भारतीय विमानन प्रौद्योगिकी की प्रगामी प्रवीणता को भी दर्शाती है। The flexibility of this aircraft has been time-tested from varied operations to suave displays. On this note, set your gaze straight ahead as the team has rolled in for the crossover break. We shall listen out for the leader's call. The team performs under the ever-watchful eye rise of the team safety officer. Today's safety officer is Coordinator Janpriya, assisted by the videographers. Ladies and gentlemen, Sarang is also available on social media platforms. To stay updated with the latest schedule of the team, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter handles as Sarang_IAF. Now, get ready to feel the heat go up as the two pairs are positioning for the level cross. The helicopters are flying at just 50 meters above us. To your right is Mishi with Krish and Pattu with Akash. And to your left is DDS with Shri and Nike with KP. To your right and left, ladies and gentlemen. Matter of astonishment to you all that while doing these daredevil maneuvers, the aircraft maintains the distance of only 1 rotor diameter. And such precision is the result of immense practice, training and split-second reactions the team undergoes each and every time. ऐसा ही एक उदाहरण प्रस्तुत करने के लिए तैयार विपरीत दिशाओं से आते हुए सारंग 3 एवं सारंग 4 एक दूसरे को तेज गति से पार कर आपके समक्ष टर्न करते हुए अपने सिग्नेचर मैनेवर का प्रदर्शन करेंगे. And diversity is India's distinction. That trickles down to our team as well. Coming from diverse cultural backgrounds, speaking different languages, we all work together towards our common aim of winning hearts and saving lives. Right in front of you, we present a beautiful pulsating heart to 211 course and their proud parents. With love, Sarang Heart. भी अति आवश्यक है. उड़ान प्रदर्शन का यही आधार है. हेलीकॉप्टर को उसकी पूर्ण क्षमता से जोश और होश से उड़ाना तब तक संभव नहीं जब तक हमारे तकनीशियन इस चुनौतीपूर्ण कार्य में इंजीनियरिंग अफसरों के साथ मिलकर इसको अंजाम न दें. Our team boasts of the finest air warriors of the Indian Air Force, an embodiment of the professionalism and ethos of the IAF. The Sarang team has time and again been called to the fore in humanitarian assistance and disaster relief missions. Since the team's formation, it has mesmerized the audience in Singapore, Chile, UAE, Germany, United Kingdom, Bahrain, Mauritius, Sri Lanka, and in 2021, the Sarang team became the first to participate and represent our country in March 21 International Air Show held in Moscow. Now, look straight ahead as the team is rolling in for the grand finale of today's display. The Sarang split on the soul-lilting tune of Vande Mataram. As the formation splits, the leader will pull up to present a salute to the nation. Let's listen out for the leader's call. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was Sarang Helicopter Display Team, and let me tell you that this team is presently the one and only 4-helicopter military display team in the world. We would also love to take this opportunity to offer our felicitations to 211 course and their proud parents and wish all the newly commissioned officers blue skies and happy landings always. On this note, this is Sarang commentator Flight Lieutenant Pallavi Sangwan signing off. A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen from the Surya Kiran aerobatic team. After the marvelous aerobatics performed by the Sarangs, we are ready to take up the difficulty level up by the few notches. Coming up next to enthrall you and congratulate the 211 course on their commissioning is the Surya Kiran aerobatic team. We are all geared up to enthrall you here today at Tejas Parade Ground Air Force Academy. And what you are about to witness is 9 aircraft loop, roll, split, cross and make you spellbound. Let me tell you that formation aerobatics has always been an integral part of the Indian Air Force. The Indian Air Force was established जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करें एम्बेसडर्स ऑफ द इंडियन एयरफोर्स के नाम से विख्यात सूर्य किरण एरोबैटिक टीम का ग्रुप कैप्टन जीएस a diamond in the skies. पोजीशन में उड़ान भर रहे हैं हमारे कमान अधिकारी, जिनके ठीक पीछे उड़ान भर रहे हैं सूर्य किरण 4 विंग कमांडर सिद्धेश कार्तिक, जिनके पीछे हैं सूर्य किरण 7 ग्रुप कैप्टन अतुल यादव। आपकी बाईं ओर अब आप देख सकते हैं नंबर 7 को फॉर्मेशन से अलग होते हुए, पर घबराए नहीं क्योंकि वो आपको जल्द ही मिलेंगे एक अलग रूप और एक नए अंदाज में। टीम के अन्य सदस्य इस समय आपके समक्ष एक बैरल रोल प्रस्तुत करने के लिए तैयार हैं। इस मैनूवर में आप टीम को अपनी बाईं ओर से एक बैरल की आकृति अनुरेखित करता हुआ देख पाएंगे। दर्शकों, आप सबको ये जान के हैरानी होगी कि इस समय इस मैनूवर में ये सभी जहाज एक दूसरे से मात्र 5 मीटर की दूरी पर उड़ान भर रहे हैं, मानो एक अदृश्य डोरी से बंधे हुए हैं। Arriving there is number 7, who had earlier peeled away from the formation, and there he inverts, looking up to you as you look back up to him. Doing an inverted run there, and there he straightens out and will be positioning for the next maneuver. हमारी 26 वर्षीय टीम ने करीबन 72 शहरों में 600 से भी अधिक डिस्प्ले करने का दुर्लभ लक्ष्य प्राप्त किया है और केवल भारत में ही नहीं बल्कि विदेश में भी भारतीय वायुसेना का परचम लहराया है। इसी के साथ अब आपकी दाहिनी ओर से आ रहे हैं नंबर 7 आपको इस जहाज हॉट स्काई 360 डिग्री व्यू दिखाने।
that was the crossover bridge for the 89 followed by 6 and 5. सूर्य किरण को 13 और 4 आसमान की बुलंदियों को छूते भारतीय वायुसेना के आदर्श वाक्य मैं था क्रिश्चियन दीपक को चरितार्थ करते हुए
clapping and encouraging us because these glossy bright aircraft that you just saw in the sky are kept ready to fly by our maintenance team, led by Wing Commander Negi, Squadron Leader Thayal, Flight Lieutenant Manil and Master Warrant Officer Kuldeep Kumar. Next, please allow me to take you on a journey where we are bringing the thrill lower and closer to you. Earlier we were flying at 500 feet above the ground, but now we are dropping our heights to mere 100 feet and crossing speeds in excess of 1500 km per hour. Coming in for a barbed wire cross are Surya Kirans 8 and 6 from your left and Surya Kirans 9 and 5 from your right. To the left and right. Carried out various displays towards the celebration of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav or 75 years of Indian independence in Bhubaneswar, Puri, Nagpur and Port Blair. Coming in next for an electrifying 1+1 cross is 8 and 9, that is Squadron Leader Himanshu and Squadron Leader Alan. They will be approaching each other head on from the left and right just at tree-top height. Ladies and gentlemen, please look to your left and to your right as you will be able to spot them very, very soon.
Advocating the vision of Atmanirbharta, let me tell you that the Hawk Mark 132 aircraft is an advanced jet trainer licensed manufactured in India by
Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. As you shift your gaze to the right, you can see an Alpha coming in, 5 Hawk aircraft in an arrowhead formation. And here comes number 5, also zooming in, ready to pierce right through the Alpha, and there he pulls up for a loop.
Ladies and gentlemen, after that, advancing from your right are Surya Kiran's 1, 4 and 7, with Surya Kiran's 2 and 3 ready to draw circles around them. Flying as number 2 is Squadron Leader Chandel, and as number 3 is Wing Commander Bharadwaj. And as they arrive, you can see them making a helical structure resembling the shape of a DNA. And in our DNA, we see the team's motto of Sadaiv Sarvottam, or always the best. आज हमारे साथ ग्राउंड पर उपस्थित है स्क्वाड्रन लीडर हुड्डा हमारे कैमरा क्रू के साथ। टीम में शामिल अन्य पायलट है विंग कमांडर अश्विन, स्क्वाड्रन लीडर वशिष्ठ और स्क्वाड्रन डॉक्टर है स्क्वाड्रन लीडर सुदर्शन। Buzzing through the skies and keeping our observer on his toes. A huge round of applause for the Surya Kiran team. Coming up next to the skies will be the synchro pair. This maneuver, as you look straight ahead, is dedicated to 211 course. We congratulate what you just witnessed is a culmination of hard work, training and dedication, as characterized by the Air Force Academy's motto, Shram Se Siddhi, achievement through diligence. Our team trains for 6 months, day in and out, and showcases the capabilities of the Indian Air Force for the rest of the 6 by performing aerial displays all around the globe. The team aims to motivate youth to join the esteemed defense services. To keep up with the schedule of our team, you can follow us on Suryakiran_IAF on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. I, Squad Leader Ridhima, thank you for being a wonderful audience and hand over to the Su-30 commentator.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you are about to witness is a low-level aerobatic display by the world's most agile fighter aircraft, the Sukhoi 30 MKI. This aerobatic display will give you some idea about the maneuvers the aircraft is capable of performing. The pilot in command today is Wing Commander Atul Hyanki, nicknamed Yankee, the flight commander of 222 Squadron. He is a fighter combat leader with over 2,700 hours on the Su-30 MKI. Sitting in his rear cockpit is Flight Lieutenant Mayank Kaushik, nicknamed Jumbo. Both the pilots have mastered their roles for their today's display, while Yankee will be busy toying with the 25-ton air superiority fighter making it loop, tumble, yaw and roll, and doing that right in front of you, Jumbo would be monitoring the fighter's critical parameters. Ladies and gentlemen, hold tight for the deafening roar of the mighty Sukhoi. Ladies and gentlemen, notice the aircraft firing out snap rolls to the left, announcing the aircraft to all the esteemed guests of the graduation parade. The aircraft now carries out a left positioning turn to fly in front of the dais to highlight its splendor and ferociousness in the next maneuver, the max rate turn. The Yankee will demonstrate the aircraft's capability to rotate the nose behind the enemy at the earliest while experiencing forces up to 8 times his own weight. Going rapidly into the sky for the next maneuver, the loop standing jaw. The aircraft executes a vertical loop and as it reaches the top, it's inverted. The pilot now tumbles down the aircraft, jawing quickly to his left and simply decides to go the other way. And before your very eyes, the aircraft challenges all known laws of aerodynamics. As Yankee repositions for the next maneuver, you must be wondering how he did that. Quite natural, because that was made possible by the superior aerodynamics, perfectly tuned engines and the immense skills of the pilot. Now the aircraft is turning in front of you to fly past the dais from your right. He will be carrying out a series of rolls as he flies past you to demonstrate the agility of this aircraft. Ladies and gentlemen, look to your right. The Su-30 MKI was the first aircraft to be inducted in the Indian Air Force in the new millennium and has since been the tower of strength of our fighter fleet for the past 2 decades. What distinguishes supersonic aircraft from each other is the ability to fly low and slow. And this is precisely what the MKI will demonstrate to you next, as Yankee would fly past in front of the dais for a low speed run at extremely low speed of just over 200 kilometers per hour. The aircraft is now on your left and is coming in for a low speed run along the dais. This ability to fly slow allows him to slide behind an adversary who would be invariably faster. Don't be surprised with the silent run yet, because wherever the Sukhoi goes, the sound of thunder follows. A fighter aircraft capable of turning quickly, even at low speeds, is a nightmare for the enemy. Yankee will now demonstrate the low-speed turn capability of this spectacular aircraft in the next maneuver, the minimum radius turn. As he carries out the maneuver, notice the visibly small radius of turn of mere 450 meters. क्षण को तूफान करो, मैं तूफानों में चलने का आदी हूं, तुम मत मेरी मंजिल आसान करो। गत 2 दशकों में भारतीय वायुसेना के इस शक्तिशाली विमान ने अनेक देशों के साथ सैन्य अभ्यासों में भाग लिया है और अपना लोहा मनवाया है। Ladies and gentlemen, I will now guide you as the pilot executes a maneuver unique to the Su-30, the spectacular loop tumble yaw. And this time, the pilot will position himself right in front of you. Notice the aircraft coming from straight ahead. The aircraft pitches up, zooming into the sky, goes vertical in a second. And now inverted on its back, the physics knocking tumble, the gravity defying yaw, and the audacious dive towards the ground. देवियों और सज्जनों, अब आप ले चलते हैं अगले हैरत अंगेज मनूवर की ओर। इस मनूवर में तेजी से आते हुए विमान को पायलट पलक झपकते ही धीमी गति पर ले आएंगे और क्षण भर में दिशा बदलकर आपको इस विमान की स्फूर्ति का प्रमाण देंगे। Hold tight for this razor-sharp maneuver, the slice. During this maneuver, the flanker would pitch up the sky into 2 halves, as easily as you slice fruits with your kitchen knife. Notice the aircraft rolling out head-on to you and pitching up the turn. And defying the laws of physics, the slice. The aircraft slicing the sky into 2 halves. This astounding maneuver is only possible due to the sheer skill of the pilot and the spectacular handling characteristics of the Sukhoi at all speed regimes. As Yankee repositions of a right-hand turn, I would like to introduce to you the next maneuver, which is the signature maneuver of this aircraft, the tail slide. Have you ever seen an aircraft fly in reverse gear? Well, this may perhaps be your only chance to witness this. देवियों और सज्जनों, क्या आपने किसी फाइटर विमान को पीछे की ओर उड़ते देखा है? अब अगले मनूवर में सुखोई 30 विमान आपको हवा में पीछे की ओर उड़ता दिखेगा। ये मनूवर इस विमान के इंजन की सुदृढ़ता का प्रत्यक्ष प्रमाण है। Notice that the aircraft has pulled up into the sky. The pilot has made it stand on its tail, slowing down the aircraft to 0 speed. The 25 tons of machinery and 2 humans stationary in the sky. As the name suggests, he is now making it slide back, tail forward and vertically down. This maneuver shows the extraordinary handling of the aircraft and the exceptional stability of its jet engines. देवियों और सज्जनों, अब पायलट विमान को दाहिनी ओर घुमाकर हमारे ठीक सामने लेकर आएंगे हमारे आज के हवाई प्रदर्शन के अंतिम और सबसे आकर्षक मनूवर के लिए, जिसका नाम है वर्टिकल चार्ली। The pilot is now positioning himself for an aerial salute to the Honorable President of India in the final maneuver of the profile, which is the vertical Charlie. Notice the aircraft pulling up, zooming into the blue sky, up and away. He goes to infinity and beyond, living up to the Indian Air Force motto, touch the sky with glory. As he exits, the C-30 inspires and congratulates the P-11 force to achieve greater heights and success in all their future operational endeavors in the Indian Air Force.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the
Hope you enjoyed the air show as much as we enjoyed presenting it to you. The Honorable President would now be visiting the Hobby Club just adjoining the parade ground. All are requested to stand when the Honorable President departs from the Hobby Club display.